There are a number of things we do to improve our search engine rankings. Generally speaking, it's the combination of various things we do that make the difference. That said, if you have a more complex search, you could be number one next week. For example, I just Googled, in quotes, Pittsburgh addiction therapists, and there wasn't a single hit. Just by putting that text on your website pretty much guarantees that you'll get on Google page 1, especially if the user types that exact term with quotation marks around it. When you perform a search with quotation marks around it, Google looks for an exact match for everything between the quotation marks. What about domain names? If you're starting to brand a new site, consider a domain name that is relevant to your top terms. For example, if you can get www.pittsburgh-therapists.com, that's a good thing. If you can't, you can still do variations, like www.mypittsburghtherapists. I've researched whether having dashes in your domain name makes a difference to Google and have seen arguments pro and con. Having dashes has been working just fine for us. Now let's talk about keyword saturation, also known as keyword density. One of the most important things you can do is to saturate your visible text with keywords. Visible text meaning the text you can see, the user sees, when he or she Googles your website. So what does it mean to saturate with visible keywords? Suppose I have 100 words on my website, and one of them is therapist. That gives me a keyword density of 1%. That is 1 out of 100. If the word therapist appears 4 times, I have a keyword density of 4%. That's a lot better. Google's pretty smart, so you want to do things that are ethical and legitimate. If you can work the therapist into your text a bunch of times, that's fine. But don't just put therapist, 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 therapist in a row on your website. Google will penalize you, and you'll get less, not more points, or lower ranking in the search engines. Also, don't try cute stuff like putting white text on a white background. Google is hip to this trick as well and will penalize you again. Keyword prominence is another aspect of on-site SEO. Keyword prominence is how close to the top of the page your keywords appear. Google typically assumes that the words closer to the top of the page are more important. The next thing I want to talk about is meta tags. Meta tags play a key role in SEO. A meta tag is text that a web programmer can embed in the source code of your web page. Some of these wind up being visible to your users and some are not. Let's talk about a few. The title tag actually appears in 2 places. One is on the blue title bar at the very top of your browser. Most people won't even notice it there, but the search engines will. The title tag is also what appears when someone does a search for your site. In Google, it's the blue underlined text that links to your website. Below that text is a description. This description is pulled from the description meta tag. It's useful to have your most important keywords as part of your title and description. Also, you want to resist having your title and description be too long. Another meta tag is the keyword meta tag. Here you can include a bunch of keywords separated by commas. My understanding is that Google no longer pays much of any attention to these, but other search engines do, and they are easy to include, so why not include them? Now let's talk about backlinking. Before we talk about backlinking, or in correlation to talking about backlinking, we'll talk about PageRank. So one of the things Google uses to assess the value of your site is called PageRank. PageRank combines variables such as incoming links to your site, the relevancy to your site's theme of the pages linking to your site, and the PageRank of those pages, the keywords that other sites use to link to your site, and the keywords on your website, in particular in places like page titles and headlines. PageRank positively contributes to your search engine rankings. All other things being equal, a site with a better PageRank will perform better. That said, a site with a lower page rank can outperform a site with a higher page rank if it genuinely better matches a search phrase or keyword. So having links from other pages to your site, called backlinks, can increase your SEO. And the higher the quality, the better. So if our Pittsburgh therapist has a link from the Academy of Cognitive Therapy website, that's presumably better than a link from girlsgonewild.com. One of my partners is an expert in backlinking strategy, and we subscribe to all kinds of legitimate directory listings that help increase your page rank and hence your visibility. Here are a few ways to generate backlinks. 1. Do link exchanges with other sites and blogs. 2. Make comments on blogs. So you want to contribute to the conversation, though. You don't want to just spam. 3. Post in forums. 4. Post in news groups. 5. Use article marketing. 6. Write press releases and submit those to free or paid places where they allow you to list press releases. Or 7. Build more websites and have your websites linked to each other.